Welcome back to Gamer Reviews. Today I will review Wolfenstein: The Old Blood. Before we begin, if you would like to see more content like this, please subscribe, leave a like, and tell me what I can do to improve my videos. Anyways, let's get into the video. I will start off with the story. The story centers around the character named BJ Blazkowicz. Your main objective is to find and retrieve a folder so you can find the headquarters of one of the higher-ups within the Nazi party. That's all there really is to the story. It's very simple, but it is a fun storyline. Now on to the controls. The controls are very simple, but they are also very good. The only complaint that I would have for the controls is that the camera speed is weird. What I mean by this is when you look around, like horizontally and vertically, the speeds are just not the same. For me, I could never find a balance between the two sensitivities, and it was always weird. I got used to it after a little while, but at first it was really weird and disorienting. Now onto the graphics. The graphics are alright. It does suit the overall art style of Bethesda, but compared to what they released in 2017, this game just wasn't good graphically. The game was released in 2015, and back then graphics were pretty good, but this game just did not showcase those types of graphics. Even though the graphics weren't the best, the little details were very well done. The soldiers were very detailed and they have detailed emblems and all of that stuff. I do have to say though that the levels were really nice looking, especially in the concept art. You can really see how much detail and style they put into the idea of what things should look like. Now onto the sound. The music was very good, but it's nothing that I would say was amazing. For certain parts of the game, the music did fit the gameplay very well. The sound effects were very well done as well as the voice acting. And the Germans sound like they were actually speaking German. The reason why I say this is because in some other video games, it's very rare, but I've noticed that sometimes when they're trying to speak a different language, they are not really speaking it very well. The content in this game was very limited. You can tell in this game they cared more about the gameplay and the story rather than the content within the game itself. There is no multiplayer, which is fine because this game feels more like a single player game. There were collectibles that you can get, but all you would unlock is just concept art. And like I said in past reviews, I don't like going through levels, finding secret areas, and getting those collectibles just to be given concept art. I will admit that the concept art was very cool to see, but I would have rather unlocked certain things, like unlimited ammo or unlimited health, after you find a certain collectible or certain amounts of a collectible. The type of collectibles you can get are gold bars and letters, and that's it. You do get some upgrades to like your health, armor, and sometimes ammo, and you have to complete challenges to get those, which are really good. I like that idea. Overall, there was not a lot of content in this game, and it's really disappointing. So this is the part of the review where I tell you my positives and negatives about a video game. This game was just fun. I really like the gameplay. I just love seeing different enemy types and how they are so different from each other, and it just made the game more exciting. I wish the game was longer and had a better story. There were only really 2 or 3 different cutscenes that actually explained what was going on and what you were doing, and it was getting confusing at certain points. Another problem I had is the fact that when you got collectibles, you weren't really rewarded for it. It goes back to what I was saying earlier, that you would collect all these collectibles and you'd only get concept art. The reason why I don't like this is because it doesn't feel rewarding. For me to go out of my way to find collectibles, I would have to unlock some pretty cool stuff, like different weapon skins, different character skins, and possibly and maybe a little bit of perks. Like if you find 5 gold bars, you get a health upgrade. Stuff like that would have made the content more appealing to me, but otherwise, content was boring. The other thing I'd like to point out is that if you find a secret area, you would find a bed, and if you went to sleep in that bed, you'd be transferred to the original Wolfenstein game. I really like this Easter egg because I played through those levels and it was a lot of fun, and I was very surprised by that. This was the only reason why I tried to find secret areas, was because then I can go to those levels and just play through those. It was a lot of fun. The game was actually never boring. The gunplay and the controls were fun, and the enemy types were really good. And if you weren't fighting enemies, you were doing stealth missions, and in the stealth missions, you either have the option to go guns blazing or to do it in a stealth way. So with the overall variation in the levels and in the gameplay, this game was a lot of fun and it was not boring. I really like the Wolfenstein series, and this is another great Wolfenstein game, so playing this game would definitely be a yes. So this is the part of the review where I tell you whether or not you should get this video game. With all of its faults, this game is really good. The gameplay is just so satisfying, and there are so many ways to play it that you can play this game over and over again, and you would have a different outcome to each level every time. This review was a lot shorter than my other game reviews, but it's because this game was short, and besides gameplay, it was a very bland game. And to answer your question, yeah, I would say definitely get this game. But with all of that aside, thank you all so much for watching, and see you in the next review.